and you are our partners, and we appreciate what you do. Today, we are here to talk about fireworks and the effect it can have on our communities. Our speaker will give us a more inclusive look into the effects. The speaker group was selected by the King County Fire Chiefs Association Public Information Officers Work Group, and I want to thank them for the coordination with these experts in putting this event together. I want to thank our guests who have agreed to join us today. Dr. Sam Arbabi, Professor of Surgery at UW School of Medicine. Mike Washington, retired firefighter, therapist, veteran. Brandon Max from Seattle Humane. And Public Information Officer Eric Autry from the Skyway Fire Department. I would also like to thank King County Council for passing an ordinance to ban fireworks in unincorporated King County, effective next year, 2022. We hope these new regulations will increase the overall safety on the 4th of July next year. As members of the media, you are acutely aware of the damage and severe injuries resulting from accidents involving fireworks. Brush fires, severe injury, property damage, loss of homes, and unfortunately, unintended consequences we will face in the fire service over the next few days of this holiday weekend. Most fire departments will staff up. We are doubling our staffing here at the Skyway Fire Department. We expect that there will be an increase in call volume from 50 to 100%, depending on weather conditions and actions of people using fireworks. As such, we encourage everyone to avoid the use of fireworks at home. Celebrating our nation's independence does not have to include fireworks, sorry. You can still gather with friends and family and enjoy celebrating our nation's birthday as you would celebrating your loved one's birthday. Let's face it, hanging out at home, barbecuing with your families is much better than worrying about burning down your neighbor's house. That will reduce a lot of stress. If you decide you would like to use fireworks, please check with your local jurisdiction. Many cities have already banned fireworks for years, and now unincorporated King County is falling behind. We ask that you please don't call 911 if someone is setting off illegal fireworks in your area. Please call a non-emergency number. These numbers could be different depending on what city you're in. We need to reserve the 911 system for emergency calls only because we're planning on possibly being overwhelmed. Lastly, we want everyone to have fun this Independence Day. And remember, this is one of the driest years on record. We want to avoid any tragedies, so please be safe. At this time, I'll turn it over to our speakers who will touch on how fireworks impact individuals, veterans, and our pets. I want to invite Dr. Sam Arbabi, Professor of Surgery at UW School of Medicine, to discuss the type of issues encountered in the hospital setting. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Hicks. I guess my first name is Sam, and last name is A-R, B as in boy, A, B as in boy, I. Thank you, Chief Hicks. I'm Dr. Sam Arbabi. I'm Professor of Surgery at University of Washington, and I'm one of the trauma burn surgeons at Harborview Medical Center, the Level 1 Trauma and Burn Center in Seattle and King County, and the only Level 1 center in state of Washington. I'm also Medical Director of Trauma Surgical ICU, and I'm here for a very important message. The message we're going to give today is one of those that you listen to and may save your life, your eye, your face, or your hand. And it is a very important one. As Chief Hicks mentioned, we at Harborview, we already have multiple operating rooms extra for 4th of July. We have multiple surgeons back up and ready, and the ER is getting ready for what we see every year is significant injuries. Injuries that we're talking about, loss of hands or fingers. Loss of eyes, we see that quite often. The hand surgery team on 4th of July at Harborview operates 24/7, and it goes for a few days afterwards. Each one of these is an operation on somebody's hand, and many of them are associated with loss of fingers or portion of the hand. The ophthalmology team has multiple teams ready, and we have 2 ORs just specific for those two teams at Harborview. And that should tell you how many eyes are lost. And then the trauma burn team is ready, and how many skin grafts we do. and how long it takes and how much pain and suffering there is associated with it, it's real. We deal with it every year, and we see it every year. It's a real thing. I am not one of those safety people. I think risk sometimes is needed, and fun is definitely needed in life. But I think there is measure of safety, and the fireworks is outside that measure. It is very hard to look at a dad's face who gave something to his child to run around and sparkle and have fun when that person has to lose their eye because of that. And you can just see that this look inside this dad's eye, and I don't want to see that. That is a very sad situation. We are ready. We are getting ready for it, and we'll be a line in the ER that, so sorry, sir, your surgery has to be in 3-4 hours, because we're already operating on 2 or 3 other people. So the trauma burn teams, the PAN team, and ophthalmology team is quite busy on 4th of July. I should also mention that I should have probably said this at the beginning. I do have a conflict of interest. In fact, on 4th of July, I'm one of the backup surgeons. And if I can save 2 or 3 people from coming in, maybe I'll spend some more time with my family also. So please be safe, have fun, and leave the fireworks to people who know what they're doing. Thank you again.
Good morning. My name is Mike Washington, Seattle Fire Department retired. Mike Washington, United States Marine Corps retired, and currently Mike Washington, psychotherapist with Acuity Counseling in Seattle. What I'm going to talk to you about in the next couple of minutes is about the effects that fireworks have on veterans and people who have experienced trauma in their life. Part of what we're looking at here is the suddenness of firecrackers. I'm not talking about the city or the organized displays, but the individual fireworks that get lit off in neighborhoods and out in the streets. As a veteran, I know that the 4th of July is coming up. I know that things are going to happen. But when it happens next door, or when it happens unexpectedly in the days prior to the 4th of July, it can send me back. It happened to me twice last year. One time was at the Fire Station 27 in Georgetown, when an airborne firework blew up right over the parking lot where I was standing. It was sudden. It had the exact sound and the exact effect that it did when I was in combat. And it affected me for the rest of the shift. I really had to use some of the techniques that I've learned in my education and what I got from counseling for PTSD to bring me back down and bring me centered. The other one occurred at near my house in my neighborhood, when multiple very loud fireworks, and these are not the fireworks that we remember as kids. Every year they get bigger, they get stronger, and military grade, and it sent me back. I was under the bed with my dog, and I had to talk myself back out. Fortunately, I've been to therapy for PTSD, and I know what I need to do afterwards to get myself centered, but many of our neighbors, our brothers and sisters who've been to war, been affected by trauma, have yet to get that same kind of a treatment and care. So just be cognizant of that, and just be careful, and just be safe, be sane, and have a great 4th of July. Just remember everyone. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Brandon Max with Seattle Humane. I've brought Harold with me today. Really great to be here. Obviously, adoption interest spiked incredibly during COVID-19, so we do have a lot of new pet owners out there who would benefit from knowing how to keep their pets safe right now. Dogs, cats are a lot more hypersensitive to loud bangs, to flashing lights, and to strong odors that are created by fireworks. We encourage people to create a calming area for them inside their homes, to keep them inside their homes. Go ahead and put them in a nice dark room. Put on some calming music. You can find calming music designed specifically for dogs on YouTube. They also are calmed by familiar scents. So if you have a shirt that belongs to you or some other article of clothing you could put there to help comfort them, that would be really great for them. You also want to keep them inside because they can be hurt by fireworks. The gunpowder residue from the spent shells also is toxic. You don't want them to find them on the ground and eat them and become severely sick. We also encourage, because we do get a lot of calls during this time about people who have lost their pets, who have run away because the fireworks scared them away. We encourage you to get your pets microchipped, and if they are microchipped, call the microchip company and make sure that your address and contact information is up to date so they know how to get a hold of you when your pet is found. We also encourage you to make sure that they are wearing their ID collars at all times while they're inside, and they could still get out. There is a great urge to escape when they are feeling that fear and anxiety. We want everybody to have a safe time, but we also don't want to get calls about people who are missing their pets. I think if there's anything else to say about this, pretty much that's it. Thanks so much for having me. Come on, Harold. Come on.
I think they say don't follow pets and children, so nobody's listening to me at this point. But so I wanted to give just kind of the fire department or the firefighter perspective on 4th of July and kind of the effect that that can have on us and just the kind of things that we're encountering. So I want to speak about 2019. I'm a regional PIO here in South King County. I'm assigned to Skyway, but we work in multiple jurisdictions. And on 2019, we started our evening with a 2-alarm fire in the Tukwila neighborhood. That fire wasn't related to fireworks, and I only bring that part up because our normal work doesn't go away. We're still doing our day-to-day runs, our day-to-day work. And so on that 4th of July, we started it with a typical house fire. It was challenging, it became a 2-alarm. The next thing I was dispatched to was a fire in the Burien area, which involved 2 homes. It was an exterior fire that spread to 2 houses very quickly. That one was related to fireworks. At that fire, there was a person trapped in one of those houses. The fire was moving very quickly. It was a very dynamic situation where you have 2 homes on fire and limited resources initially. And in that case, the crew that was trying to rescue that person inside that house, I don't think I'll ever forget the voices on the radio that they were making, and you could hear the struggle in their voice as they were trying to rescue that person. They were able to find the person and get them out of the house. Unfortunately, they died. At that fire, a lady lost her husband, her pets, and her home. The next door neighbor, with a family of 6, lost their house. I responded from that scene to the Fairwood neighborhood in Renton to an apartment fire. When I arrived, the top floor of the apartment unit was on fire, and they were pulling somebody out of the fire and doing CPR on her in the back of a medic unit. So at that fire, which was also started by fireworks, a young man learned that his mother was in critical condition going to the hospital, and 6 families lost their homes. This is all for fireworks. So, I understand, and we understand that fireworks kind of have a tradition around here. They're fun. I understand that. We understand that. But the risk does not outweigh the reward of enjoying those fireworks. As Chief Hicks mentioned, you can still have fun without fireworks. You have parties all the time where you're not lighting something off in the street. And that risk of burning down your home or your neighbor's home, it's just not worth it. The people affected by those fires are not only the families that lost their loved ones or lost their homes, but it's the firefighters that responded to that incident and unfortunately didn't make a full rescue, right? That person died. That's not what we're here to do. We're here to save lives. So that has an effect on us. It has an effect on the people who witnessed what was going on, some of them children. It has the effect on the media, who I can't imagine. You guys kind of go to everything that is tragic. You're seeing this as just like us. So this has an effect. So with all of that said, if you choose to use fireworks, I'm going to give you some guidelines. 1, check with your local jurisdiction. Make sure that fireworks are legal where you live. If they're not, do not use them. Number 2 is, if you're using fireworks, use legal fireworks. If it has a fin or a stick, or it flies, or it explodes, it's illegal in Washington State, not just King County, Washington State. When you're done using your fireworks, place them in a bucket of water. They're still hot, they're still smoldering. We respond to fires where people are putting their fireworks in their trash can next to their house, going to sleep. The trash can catches on fire, catches their house on fire, and you end up in a situation again where someone is trapped. So, I encourage you not to use fireworks, but if you choose to, follow those steps. We want you to have fun. We want to have a good 4th of July. We're doing everything we can to protect you guys. I really appreciate it if you guys are doing everything you can to make our lives a little bit easier that day, and have a good time. And with that, I will conclude my part. Oh, I just want to restate, if you're calling to report fireworks violations, use the non-emergency number for your jurisdiction, okay? You should have that in your phone anyway. With that, I'm going to turn it over to questions from you guys for anybody that's up here. So with that, go ahead. Questions? We nailed it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I have a question.
yeah.
So you mentioned that it's dry season right now, and obviously this heat is nothing like we've seen at this time of year. What makes this year, based on what you have seen and what you're seeing right now, especially different and even more cautionary as the weather for fireworks?
Yeah, I think I think all of us on Monday kind of realized, oh my goodness, right? This is hot. Since we're not scientists here at the fire department, I called the scientist. I called NOAA yesterday and said, "Hey, how dry is dry this year?" And they said this is the second driest second half of June that they've seen, that they've recorded since 1945. So that's pretty significant. I mean, we knew it, right? We already know it hasn't rained. It's been hotter than it's ever been that I can remember it. When I was a kid, it rained every 4th of July. I don't know what's up, but yeah, it's dry. We're concerned. It makes us, concerned.
How big of an ask do you think this is for the public? I mean, being a time where they feel like their rights are being infringed upon, and everybody wants to just get out there and do what they do, and exhibit their freedoms. I mean, it just seems like for lack of a better term, bad timing.
Right.
Although the safety factor is definitely paramount.
Yeah.
But I mean, how big of an ask for the public? I mean, really.
No, I understand. I understand what you're saying. That concern of us asking them to do something that's out of the question, and I think our job is to inform the public of those risks so they can make good decisions. We've just come out of the pandemic. People are probably pretty excited to kind of have the state reopened and do, fun things again. All that we ask is, we prefer that you don't light fireworks. If you do, we do it in a safe manner, and we just kind of give you guys all the information, and people can make that decision for themselves.
I would add that while obviously fireworks have risk, thank you. I would add while fireworks have their risks for others, as in could cause fires and everything else and kill a lot of other people, I would say the primary risk is to that person. Obviously, everybody has to listen and hear and do what they think is appropriate, and that is the freedom that we have, and I cherish that. I just would say that if you visit our ER and see the number of faces exploded, you need ophthalmology, you need facial teams, you need burn teams, and then sometimes explosions that cause half of your chest to go, the general surgery team has to be there, and then the loss of hands and eyes. When you see that, you will realize, or I have realized long time ago, it's just not worth it. But it is the freedom that we have. I just look into your eyes and I would tell you, there are lines at Harborview with people losing their face, hand. Just 2 days ago, just a simple thing, one of my partners had to put somebody to sleep, and this person got lucky because the explosion caused fragments to go into his face, so we had to put him to sleep and with tweezers take all these little fragments out of the face. Now they're gonna scar, but at least it's not gonna be a big tattooed area over his face, and he got lucky because his eyes didn't get injured and his mandible didn't fracture. So I would say, yes, you are right, but when you come and visit us, you will realize this risk is too much. Thank you.
I also like to add to that when we talk about our freedoms. We definitely want everyone to enjoy the freedoms and celebrate those freedoms, but let's do it legally. In the area where the fireworks are banned, obviously you can't do it there. Areas where you can have fireworks and enjoy the holiday season, let's do it legally. Buy legal fireworks, not the ones that are illegal. We know the ones that explode, the ones that cause injuries, they're typically the fireworks that are illegal. So let's do it safe and let's do it legally.
Gotcha.
All right. No more questions. You guys can go spend hours editing or whatever, making the magic happen, right?
White out on my
Minutes editing. All right. Thank you, guys.
The editing would be, our Bobby's face would be like, oh no. We'll make him a little bit blue eyes and maybe have him a little bit of it, like more lips, sadness.
Maybe I'll reach out.
Very nice. Thank you. Very nice.
Great. Thanks for coming.
Oh, thank you for the, thank you for